right, welcome to the Professors. We ain't crazy, we're licensed.
We're licensed.
Oh my God.
Totally licensed. Duly licensed.
Duly licensed.
Duly licensed.
Oh, I ain't used that in a minute.
I'm Dr. Mark Braun, a licensed clinical professional counselor and adjunct professor.
Casey Casillas Nichols, CPC. Oh,
Head bitch in charge.
I had to tell explain that to somebody. I said, you know, HBIC, like I'm the HBIC. And they're like, I don't know what that means. I go, you know the actual definition, but we're at work right now. And then it was something different. Go ahead. Sorry.
You done learn them right?
Yeah, you're going to learn today.
Did you drop what you do?
We interrupted.
Sorry.
Bad students.
Another one of those moments where I work doubles. Adjunct professor, therapist, VP, adjunct professor, and a dope mom right now.
Say that.
There you
An
go.
dope ass
There you
mom
go.
right now.
Say that.
Shout out to my twins because
Yeah.
they didn't let anybody try to punk their Star Wars queen this week.
Oh!
And yo,
She's a cool mom.
Archer Jasper, I love you boys.
You got to celebrate the wins as a parent.
yo. I mean, it was spicy. It was spicy, but you
Yes.
gotta love that loyalty.
Hell yeah.
Cool mom.
Mm-hmm.
Shamika Green, bad bitch on Wednesdays.
Boy.
Other days.
Dang, Mrs. Creedy, if you
Whoa.
nasty.
Hello.
7 days a week.
Blazing
7 days a
hot
week.
mocha.
Oh, God.
Time to the stage.
Oh, man. That threw me off.
That's stage one. I usually always say stage two. That's stage one.
That is
Yeah.
stage
Bitch
one.
is up front. Affirmative action. So, Shamika Green, your favorite therapist, a licensed marriage and family therapist, trauma mama specialist, grief specialist, part of this dope ass podcast. Can I say that?
Yep.
Yeah.
SCM
Speak it.
Productions. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Tesla Queen.
Tesla
Queen of Detroit.
Yeah, Queen of Detroit. Come
Yo,
on.
shout out to Detroit. Come
on.
on.
Let's go Lions.
Come on, 313.
My uncle with the cutoff
I wore
jersey.
that.
Where he at?
Unc, I love you.
Where you at with the Pistons jersey? Nah, it's
Oh,
the
not
Lions.
the Pistons.
You remember that?
Boy, that was one of the popular ones for
That
sure.
was
Oh, yeah.
for sure. Season finale. What's up?
It's hard to believe the season's almost over.
It's
Maybe-
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is kind of an interesting topic. And this came from one of our listeners who,
Thank you for
Yes.
obliging my question.
Yeah.
yes, and I think it was, I really didn't know which way to go with this because it's like when it's like the what the fuck moments as a professor, I'm like, man, because I know we've talked about some of them, but now we're really going to be talking about some of them.
Yeah. I mean, so first off, I wanted to make this episode, since you guys put it on me, like as sideways as I can.
We did.
Because
Oh, yeah.
I wanted it to be fun, but then I also wanted it to be like
Coherent.
coherent, like extra, like pushing the limit spicy.
Ooh. Oh, we dropping some shit today.
So
Pearls.
next time, people, when we ask a question, I want you to get all the way sideways.
Yes.
When I say a wild question, that's what that means.
Is
like,
this
Yeah.
DT after dark?
yeah, it may be.
This is going to be Professor's Confessions.
Oh, yeah. And we're in Vegas. Let's
We
get
will need a young priest and an old priest.
Oh my God. I'm so fucking done.
I like
I'm done.
Mark, start this shit because
Remove me from the group chat.
You are the group chat.
Remove me from the group chat, dog.
So
I'm out.
as I showed up here and started getting my questions together because my ADHD got the best of me this morning.
Okay.
Starting off with like the most shocking thing that's happened to you as a professor. And for me, there's a couple of them, but when it comes to like probably one of the most entertaining stories had to be when one of my students was taking pictures for one of her social media accounts in class.
What?
Now, for those of you who have never been in class with me, I have certain rules about phones
Oh,
that I tell you day one. which is your phones are either on vibrate or silent.
He's not playing.
And I am not. I got kicked out of recess because I don't play.
My students told me.
What? They tattled.
They do. But if your phone goes off and disturbs my class, the rule is if it is a phone call, you will answer it on speakerphone.
Yep.
If it is a text message, you will read the entire chain to the class.
Boy.
And I enforce it.
Test me.
I would be
Test me.
pissed.
I was like, all right, cool. I can't wait to lick you.
I want to lick.
So actually, I thought of another story too, which, but this young lady in my class, like, and she was in like the second row, literally right in front of me. And I look as I'm teaching, and she's got her phone out and she's going like this. And I stop class. I'm like, what are you doing? And her face turns red. I'm like, no. Get the camera. We're taking a group picture. And you're posting it.
For the OnlyFans.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so.
I need 10% off the top then for this.
Stop playing, Professor.
And like, yeah, she wasn't sure. I'm like, no, come on, guys, come on. And gathering the class, and like her face is turning red. Because I mean it. If it's so important, you have to disrupt my class. All right,
you will do it.
I did.
I know. They told.
They were like so as people were getting around, like, and like she started crying.
Oh,
and like I'm like, okay. So I'm like, everybody go sit down.
Just trying to make a look,
Yeah, I was trying to make it humorous.
Wait, what class is this for?
Psych 101.
I knew it was going to be psychology.
Psych 101. And everything. And I did speak with her after class. She goes, I was in the wrong and I apologize. But it was crazy. I'm like, why would you even think you can do that? I told you before class. Yeah.
You recommended it on episode whatever 8.
It's true.
Side hustle. What is Casey? Stop.
Because I'm not saying anything. I'm just like he has a lot. He probably has a lot of stories about like in person, and you too. And I'm just thinking like, mine are like so different.
They are, but they're still good.
Yeah, it's just.
I can think of one in particular that I remember.
What?
Which one?
That you told us. The one where you were in supervision with Roberta. It was like right away, and the other person was on a call talking to Roberta. Why don't you tell that story?
Are you even able to tell?
Yeah, this was the kid that sat there and said he couldn't finish his work because he had to plan his graduation party, and he was pissed off because I didn't give him like extended time. That he asked for after the shit was due. And I'm like, the fuck? And it was like one of those moments where I said, like, literally, what the fuck moment? And I sat there and I thought, I went to grad school and became a therapist for this shit? Like, this is the shit that I'm fucking dealing with right now? And I'm like, bro, no, like, that's not a thing. Like, because in the beginning, everybody does their introduction posts, and a lot of people share some things, sensitive things about themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you got people that are dealing with sick parents, dealing with abusive relationships, like the plethora. And then this dude's like, I had to plan my party and this ain't right. This is not fair. And I'm sitting here thinking like,
see how y'all be hating on the students.
So then I'm like, he complains to the school. It goes up the chain. I'm in supervision. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah. And then I'm in supervision.
Okay.
And then the student comes in on the picture and sees me on there. And it was like the showdown of you just stare.
Like, what's up now, motherfucker?
Yeah. And then just staring. Oh. And I just sat there and I had to smile and I was like, of course, this is what it is. But then that was one of the ones I stood my ground. I still don't think I'm wrong.
You're not.
Because that was wild as fuck. That was like one of the craziest things I've heard is bluntly, I have a party to plan.
Could you have told your professor that if you was in school? But Dr. Carter went for that?
Dr. Carter would have said, I'll need an invitation and you're still late.
I don't get it. But that's a what the fuck. But mine's like not fun ones. They're all like ones that
That's
definitely
okay, though.
push the one that you had.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't have any like funny student moments. It's all testing my gangster moments. You know what I'm saying?
Those are pretty funny in themselves.
Yeah.
Bitch got stabbed in the parking lot.
What the fuck moment was? I think it was around like finals, maybe either finals or midterm. And I remember having a student who, you just know when people be lying, you know, but you try to give them the benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so you didn't do what you were supposed to do and came back and sent me like a nasty ass message, right? Of like, I need more time to do this and that. Again, that entitlement, you know, when you know what you're supposed to do, you know, kind of thing. And I'm like, who they talking to? You know, like, but now this one was online. See, I feel like I only get tested online for some reason, you know? And so this one was online. I was like, okay, so I hit him up like, we need to have a conversation, you know? And so I remember it was a little bit of Professor and it was a little bit of Detroit. Because I was like, well, what's up? You know, like, like,
You on my line.
you talking all this shit.
Right.
Chat. What's up now? You know, like, and it was like, no, I wasn't. I'm like, no, you were. You were. Yeah. This is that one. Like, no. So yeah, it's always that like
I think that it's a common theme amongst the demographics that we teach. And I don't know why or how.
Demographics is in the kids.
Speak on it.
The kids. Because I would say these are kids that are like my kids' age right now. You know what I mean? And I know damn well they wouldn't. The questions that I get asked or the bullshit I get fed is not some shit that they would do. Like, not even close.
Yeah.
Imagine what's some shit that you got fed?
Now, see, for me, it's the opposite. It's always somebody that's older.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
See, I've had a good mixture of both, but it you know, it's funny when you talk about the kids because most of the funniest things, like the stories I have, happen because they are younger.
Yeah.
Like the girl that was like taking the pictures for social media, she was younger. She was like barely, you know, just graduated high school. This is her first semester in college, you know, and you know, it's like, I don't know how high schools are now, but apparently this is behavior that would be allowed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like this don't fucking happen in my class.
Because the teachers are like, we don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah.
Could you blame them?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah,
absolutely
they're not. Yeah.
And so then when they come to college and they're expected to act like an adult and get their shit together, and when people check them,
it's like a culture shock.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
to be honest.
It
yeah.
is.
To be fair, it really is.
But like,
and we asked you to read, you know, like prior to college, I don't know what you were doing. Like, you know, even assignments, like, did you read?
Yeah.
The instructions? Like,
I got that. This. That's what I was complaining to you guys about this little past winter session. Literally, it says on the same motherfucking post the same shit every time. I am the boringest teacher ever because I just want you just to get it. Like, I'm not trying to make shit hard.
Right.
You can't fucking read that there's a word count. You can't read that it's the same every week.
That is always
Professor, why did I get half credit? I tell you, everywhere. Why do I get half credit? And then I just start saying, don't even ask me. Because then I'll take the hit on my evaluations, boy.
Because it gets hot. All those about your evaluations.
Oh, here we go.
I forgot to take my high blood pressure medicine.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Lord, here I come, Elizabeth.
Because
10 deep breaths.
We're required to show them every place where it says this is what's going to happen. What, you taking 50% off? Yeah, bitch. I take 50% off if you can't read the instructions. Period. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know who you are.
Yes. Like, I'm tired of having to explain this shit.
What kills me is
fuck?
I have that same issue in the online master's courses that I teach. And I literally have an announcement at the beginning.
You teach the master's courses.
At the beginning of class, and it's in bold. You should read this. And in bold, in the announcement, it has the minimum word counts and requirements. And I still, for the first couple weeks of class, why were there deductions and points for my posts? And I say, please refer to the announcement on substantive posts.
That's the biggest issue. I don't know if they think you bullshitting or whatever it is. Because even for me, when I'm like, you can't miss the final or the midterm, like it has to be extreme circumstances, like that kind of thing. And it's still, when it comes down to the end, you still will play.
Oh, yeah.
Like you still would be like, what can I?
Well,
what makes you think you could just do that?
And I know that sometimes other professors don't always enforce the same rule.
Maybe that's
you would
what
think
it is.
if I have a post that literally highlights the fact that I am anal about this, that it would be enough.
No.
Especially with the master's program, because this ain't your first rodeo.
Yeah. You really fucking up.
It's funny to me because they will be coming back. They're like, well, I had references. Yeah, but you didn't even hit the word count. And I'm not even asking for a lot.
That's part of the problem, though. It would be like, this is the shit. Hey, Shamika. Good morning. How are you? This was a great post.
Yeah. Oh,
and then and then it's like a social thing. It's like every semester there's like one small thing I have to tweak in the syllabus because of some dumb motherfuckers that test my 909.
It's the I like turtles post.
It is. And it's like, listen, I'm not going to repeat the shit because I don't know how else to say it. Like this last semester, I tried to be real cool. And then at one point, I was like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
Everybody, just turn your shit in late. Who cares?
Yeah.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's whatever.
No, and that bothers, that drives me up the wall. And I make it very clear, especially with my master's programs. Your introductions, your salutations, whatever you are putting on there, do not count because that is only on the content. I do not give a fuck.
All right.
Okay. And so because what you get, and this is the example I lay out, is because otherwise what you get is, and this is what I mean by the I love turtle post. It'll be like, hi, Shamika. What a great post on turtles. I love turtles too. I really love what you said about the turtles, and I really love turtles too. And it will be the minimum word count, just like that.
Or reiterate
and then
the question in the
have
statement.
a good day. I'm glad you like turtles too.
Yeah.
And there'll be like
just
2
broke
words
that
of
shit
anything.
down.
And it's like, and I'm like, you can't
crazy.
fucking do that. So your salutations, your welcome, your blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. I don't count that. That is not content. I want the meat and potatoes.
I'm telling you that, like, the fact, like, this is where it's almost like it's parenting because it's the fact that you put so much hustle into like not doing some shit. Just do the shit.
Right.
It's like, it reminds me of like, this is so foul as fuck.
Casey.
It reminds me of like when my dad would tell my sister to go take a shower and she'd go just stand in there and just let the water run.
Right. And it's like, well, no, you have to get in.
Finesse.
This bitch comes out with the towel on the head and everything. I'm like,
dry as fuck.
yeah. And my dad would be like, get your ass over here. The smeller, get your ass back in there. And I'm like, bruh. But like, you just sat in there and just like, shh, and just.
Yeah.
I don't need, like, I don't get that, but that's
right.
But that's
you
what
will
these
work
students
harder
be doing.
on avoiding to the task than the task actually takes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it does.
Not the
It drives
spice.
me up the fucking wall. Which actually one of the reviews that I had gotten from my master from the master's program, the person said I was rude and short with the answers, and I'm like, you went back and forth with me to the point where all I could say is read the announcement.
You know what?
Follow the rules.
Your review on one of my evaluations, it said that like she doesn't respond to emails, and the emails are always, and I will say this, and I don't care. The emails are always, why did I get deductions in my discussions when it's everywhere? And I just don't answer because you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
Especially if they're in multiple classes of mine at the same time.
Selective hearing. You're like, no.
It's like I don't write back because I can't say you have me fucked up.
Yeah.
So I
see
just,
it, but I don't see it.
yeah, I just can't. I'll take the hit of, She doesn't respond back. It's for your benefit.
Yeah.
Have a seat, please. For your safety.
To be fair, responding back doesn't do any favors.
No, you do not need a clap back.
Well, even when I do
Either.
respond, I still get the review
I
because
feel like Nicki Minaj in here
Right.
clapping back to Megan.
Right.
I have no business doing. I'm grown. I'm just not going to
No,
say
you sit up
anything.
there saying wild shit.
Keep my old ass at home and be silent and not say shit.
Slam the laptop shut, because no.
Pink Friday too. I don't need to do all that.
You do not.
yeah, no.
Go
no,
read about that shit, Mark.
Responding back though, like when I've responded back, it's the same thing, and it's like, how many times can I tell you it's in the syllabus?
Listen, that's what else? What else is out here testing gangster? That's what the title should be, testing
right. It
gangster.
should have been.
And what the fuck? But
And what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. I think it was a situation with a younger student now this time, but it was in person. And I think that sometimes they think they know everything. So they were talking shit
I love
about
those students.
somebody else, like another professor of like, well, they should have did. And I was like, what? You know, so I'm listening and I'm like, no, what the professor did was right. And I'm like, so you gonna tell them what? I'm like, yeah, she told me what she's gonna tell the professor. I was like, oh, okay. So what you gonna tell them? And just, I was like, all right. I was like, let me know how that work out for you. Like, yeah, like that's not it. You don't get to do that, you know? And I think sometimes it is that abrasiveness of like, I'm gonna tell you your job when you don't even have your degree. Like, what?
And that's one of the things. When I talked about Dr. Carter telling that person that's exactly what it was.
That's right.
You know, they have our, the professor. We've already got our shit.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing. You're in the process of getting it.
And if you don't even have what you need to get that grade for you to be like, no, it's gonna be like this. Like, you what? Like, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening, especially when you get out in the real world. Like, that's why I think we are good gatekeepers of like, no, you can't do that shit here. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Listen, they still see the video of us, all three of us,
Oh, yeah.
on my
Remember
class.
we did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do a new one, but then it's
We
like,
could.
we do this, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put the podcast in here and listen to this
You
shit.
should.
We should.
bitch.
Yeah,
Actually, you should.
I like how I just keep tilting this hat.
right.
Boy,
That's how
like,
you know. She
Los
don't went easy.
VGK.
Like,
yeah, like,
she don't went easy
I'm
in here. Easy.
Motherfucking E.
Right. Dang, Casey.
I
Wait, have your students ever listened to the podcast? I did.
I have a bunch of mine.
Wait,
too.
my last class, they were like, "Oh, we found you," because I don't drop that stuff.
Oh,
But they were like, "I found you, Professor. Are you on?" And I was like, "Oh, damn."
So
like,
I put it out there, and here's why.
You do?
I do.
What do you say?
No, it's just in my introduction that I put out there.
Shit.
I have master's students that
Okay.
listens. I have a former undergrad, and I
my
have probably some undergrad that listen and everything. But I figure if they ever want to find out whether or not they can fuck with me, listen to the podcast, because that answer going to be no.
see,
You
but this is-
dropping your mixtape to students?
that's what I'm saying. But then this goes back to the conversation we had before we started the podcast. If I put that shit out there, I feel like I'm going to jail. Like,
You're going to jail.
I'm gonna get ripped. Something's gonna happen to me. Somebody's gonna try to fuck with me.
You
about
always in the
some
principal
shit.
office anyway.
That's
You
what I'm saying.
remember We
I
said
just,
that.
I don't. It
We
doesn't
said
even
that.
matter. It's like,
Always, Casey.
I
Never
just
fails.
figure there's no better way to find out what you can get away
I
with.
cringe when somebody like randomly says that. Even clients, and I don't even tell clients unless it's like something I feel like that would help. But
Right.
yeah, like it's always the random stuff of like, oh, I heard your podcast,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
It's
you
not,
said, and I'm like, bitch, what?
this is what I'm saying. See,
I feel
somebody.
exposed.
Yeah,
Like,
somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh, I seen 909-313," and then I was like,
it's
then I want to start
side-eye.
thinking like,
Yeah.
what episode did you see?
Right.
Or what episode did you
talking
listen
about?
to? Yeah, like, okay.
What you talking about, Willie?
Because,
No,
but then
I-
it's just like, you know what?
But I embrace the whole thing.
That's, I have to stop being acting so scary about certain shit because I say it anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know why I act scary. Like,
know.
people don't know who the fuck I am.
right.
But and then I'm like, no, really. I'm like, it's
And that's my whole thing is like, if they listen, they can't question, well, is he really fucking like that? Because, yeah, motherfucker, he is.
Yeah. I think, too, I'm still struggling with sometimes, like, you fight hard,
Yeah.
to, I don't know, for me, black woman, minority woman, like sometimes it's different, like.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
It's one of those, we have to, I hate that it feels like we have to act a certain way to be taken serious because we're a person of color or
right. And it's not code switching. It's just
no. And it's like me walking into a meeting being all tatted up, or if I wear like capris, it's like you see all of it, and then they're just like the expectation is that I have to balance it by talking super however the fuck they want me to make it acceptable. But it's like, no, I'm tied up and I'm hood as fuck.
Yeah.
And
like,
guess what?
This is
I'm
me.
Educated.
Right.
That's scary to people. That's scary to a lot of people.
But them being scared is not your problem.
Right.
That's the part that I have to,
Something happened though recently too when I was talking to, it seemed like it's the theme, but I had somebody come and they were like, they picked me solely off my name. And I was like, damn, so now this is time where that name works for you. Before people were like, oh, that's too ethnic. That's too this. Like, what the fuck you mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I was looking at the list. And then and then they get whisper. I don't know why people start whispering. Like, then I seen Shamika and I was like, yeah, black as fuck. Right.
Yeah.
Like, that was,
yes.
I'm pretty
Blazing
sure you
hot
knew
mocha.
by the time you got down to Shamika motherfucking Green.
I know that's
Blazing
right.
hot mocha. You knew.
Stage one.
She was black as hell. So yeah, I was like, you knew, right? He was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I love that shit. I love that. I love that shit. So I had a student, previous student, reach out to me and wanted to do a Zoom session. And she said something to me like, I don't know if you know this, but you said something that was really profound and it stuck with me and it'll always stick with me forever. She never repeated what it was. And I'm glad she didn't, because it's like, if I ever say stuff like that, it's just like a once in a lifetime, my Mona Lisa.
You might not be like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I probably would never remember that shit. But then she was it was basic shit about teaching her the ASAM. And like she forgot how to do the risk, or she didn't see it or whatever. And she got like the dopest job. She got the job that she wanted, the internship that she wanted, and they were going to pay her for it. But then she was like, but I'm from South America. And, it's just nice to see your people like be who they are. You know what I mean? Like,
man.
And we're not the same. Her and I do not have the same, I'm Hispanic, Native.
Yeah.
She's Brazilian. It's,
right.
not the same but different. But then she just felt like, man, we can do
you have
this
your
shit.
own plate.
Yeah.
You know where you are.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's
that was
one
a
of
what the fuck moment, because I was like,
For real.
I do think one of the things that I really enjoy is the fact that when we do connect with students, we get to, have this kind of special place, and it's kind of cool. A lot of the students that I have or have had that have wanted to become therapists and go into this field, I have an open door policy. If they need anything, they can get a hold of me, and I'll sit down with them, like have a conversation, help cut, whatever. Because one, I know at the school that we all teach at, they don't get that. They most of the professors there have a very distinct bias against clinical work and try to talk them out of it.
for real?
Oh, for real. And since we're spilling the tea,
Boy, here it comes. Because I did not know that.
No, I know that because I've encountered that several times.
Yeah.
Where students were like, well, I want to be a therapist. And then they talk to some of the tenured professors and they're like, well, no, you should go and do research and do this, because you can get this. And I'm like, and I'll tell them, I'm like, listen, if you want to do research, go do research. But if you want to be a therapist, that's the worst advice you're ever going to get.
Yeah, it is.
That's exactly what that Brazilian student said.
Yeah.
It was that she didn't know if she should become a doctor or not. And I said, it doesn't matter at this point. I said, if you go get licensed and do whatever, it's all different. I said, but you're going to be allowed to do different things.
Right.
But I go, it's going to be no tea, no shade. The boring shit. I said, I don't want to do fucking reports. I said, my counterpart, he's considered the clinical part, even though I'm clinical too. But since he's a doctor, he has to do all the boring shit that like I would hate to fucking do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that shit.
Right.
I want to go be out with the people. I want to go do some fun shit. I want to be able to hire the next generation of us's and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't want to have to sit there and be like, these are trends and blah blah. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that shit. That's not me.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's what I'll tell them. I'm like, listen, if you want to do the clinical work,
Biased
you
as
don't.
fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
it
it
is.
is.
That's crazy.
It is, and I think, and I know that's gotten back to the other professors that are there, and that's probably part of the reason I will never get a full-time job at that institution. Because
Speak on that shit, Mark.
well, even with I had an interview recently for
Not
a
the bass in
position
my
that was
voice.
clinical because they're trying to get a clinical program off the ground. They didn't ask me one motherfucking question about my clinical abilities. It was all focused on research. They're like, they asked me about my student stuff and they're like, well, research is 10% of the job. And what would you want to research? And I'm like, if it's 10% of the job, why aren't
Right.
you focused on the other 90%? And everything. And they didn't ask me one question about my clinical training, my clinical experience, how long have I been doing this, what makes me qualified, the fact that I have credentialing that says I'm allowed to supervise both clinical mental health, substance abuse, whatever. Not one fucking question.
Wow.
We out
Not
here
a single
fighting it
one.
hard in the trenches. Like,
But-
literally.
That's also part of the reason that they've had a mass exodus from a lot of the people that were there when we first started left because
Are
they
no
couldn't
longer there.
because they don't really even give a fuck about the counseling program.
Yeah.
It's more of a nuisance to them than anything else because they're trying to get everybody to go into research.
Speak
You
your
know.
shit, Mark.
And
Tell your truth.
if they happen to be listening, because I happen to think that they are aware of the podcast,
Yeah.
I'm telling the
Tell your
fucking
truth.
truth. I don't give a shit. You know, because how can you say you're
mixtape.
hiring a clinical position and not ask a single question about
Right.
clinical work?
Okay, so to play devil's advocate, do you think it's because they're so heavy on the research that they have no idea what
Well, I
kind of
guarantee it.
clinical
Not one of
question
them.
to ask?
Not one of them that is like there full time
Yeah.
has ever done clinical work.
Yeah.
And they're
That's a
actually
what the
very
fuck moment.
biased against it. I sat in a meeting where one person who used to be the chair had said, you know, psychology is more than just being a therapist. And that's how she introduced herself.
Well, we in the trenches.
I don't
Who knew
What?
we was a gang out here
Yeah.
fighting for?
but yeah, you know what?
And that was
Your
a huge what the
colors.
fuck moment for me.
for sure. You guys ever seen that movie Accepted?
No.
Where
What's
it's
that?
like they close down like the college. The college
Yeah.
is for like all the kids that can't get into like
Oh, did they make a school? Is
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
kinda, yeah.
Okay.
But that would be like us,
Yeah.
like teaching like but they were teaching kids like real shit, like hey, beer, whatever it was. But it was like I saw it more. I can't watch a movie without seeing it as a metaphor, but it was more of a metaphor.
Right.
Like when my mom used to tell me, hey, college is not for everybody. It's like, fuck, bitch. Like,
Right.
maybe it is. If it was, if
I
it
could
was
do it.
structured a way that
Yeah.
I could understand. But imagine, like, we are those professors right now for those students that like are like us and don't have to fit into a box.
That's right.
But they're only getting a handful of them, and then they
Right.
have to go against like other
A whole
professors that would be
ton.
like, "Listen, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
do this, and this," and it's like
We're a limited edition.
Yeah.
it's
If
very
we-
Stepford Wives.
Yeah.
Wait, if we had that and we created our own school, like what class would you be teaching that was like not the norm? You know what I mean? Like, what would you be doing? Because
I could see Casey teaching a class on working in community mental health
okay.
because they don't really teach you that
Yeah.
in any program. And it is such a unique population to be working with because you're dealing with not only substance use, you're dealing with severe mental health, but you're also dealing with people typically needing to meet their basic needs. And there's not a fucking class that spends any time teaching that. I get 1 week about co-occurring disorders in my master's program that I teach. 1 week. That's
yeah.
it.
And see, I feel like though it would be like what you said, Mark, but like the 909 way
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
But
how
I
to
mean, that's the whole
boss
thing,
up.
the real life
Yeah,
way.
the real life. Yeah,
I would
and
have
see-
wanted, and like I would do some shit like I'm already imagining. Once I had some time to marinate on it, I would like want a pottery class,
Yeah.
right? Like a pottery class,
Oh,
but
would you be
like,
in there like ghosts?
Mindfulness,
but not mindfulness, but like it's
meditation.
one thing
wanna
for,
see.
for
Go
students
ahead.
that like
Yeah.
when you can. Have you guys ever done one of those on the
No.
wheel? It's very like
Like in high
existential.
school.
Yes, it's very existential.
Okay.
I made
you know what I
an
mean?
ashtray.
What'd you say?
I mean, an ashtray.
Oh God. But like
it was supposed to be a cup.
There's like Seth Rogen does it, like, and he's always smoking weed and like doing it, and I feel like that's how
would be your class.
Yeah, that's how it would be.
I can see it.
I'm like,
you going to jail?
All right. As you put the clay on here, you roll a fat one.
You going to
no,
jail?
I'm just saying like it's,
Do it Seth Rogen style.
but that would be my type of like psychology class. Would be
Right.
very
Right.
just like
Yeah.
hippie-esque because I don't know. I think like a lot of that stuff is very existential. Anyways, I had another one on the way over here, but
See?
that's for
Now, for me, my class would be therapy, but like the side hustle. Because I feel like I keep teaching that to all my interns of like, because they think that you could just be a therapist only. And I'm like, no, you do this for this, you do this for that.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, bitch making money, making one-on-one.
Oh, for sure. Oh, then we would have
therapy
to have,
hustle.
Yeah, and then like
Ooh,
the
therapy hustle.
Ooh. But then like the honor roll would be like the bad bitch boot camp that I have too. That'd be sick.
Speaking of which, people actually want you to develop that and market it.
Listen, I
I've
think
had-
just should.
I've had 4 requests. When can we go?
You know what? I almost want to have one of
As
one
a-
of my people that is part of the bad bitch boot camp to come on here and then just
As a matter of fact, my own sister in Texas said, when can I take that class?
dang sister
We
in Texas,
should have
what's
a
up?
school. See what I'm saying? Like these
Yeah,
classes.
you should market that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, what class would you have real quick?
See, I don't know, to be quite honest, because I like teaching the classes I teach.
Okay.
Because while the materials are important, I do put a lot of the real life shit in there. I will like flat out ask questions and get them thinking beyond what the textbooks say and I'll explain, in real life. Yeah, it's these risk assessments and everything sound great.
You would
But
do
your clients
that.
never, almost never, if they truly intend to like kill themselves, they're never going to tell you. So how are you really going to fucking know? The ones that tell you usually don't want to, and they want you to take action, help them or whatever.
Yeah.
But the ones that have made up their mind, this shit ain't going to work.
No,
Now,
that's
see, that
true.
would be your
Boy,
niche in
yeah.
real life 101
Yeah.
with Dr. Bronner. All right.
That shit would be. I mean,
Ooh,
that
that'd
would be
be lit.
good. But that almost reminds me of like Monsters University when they were like learning certain shit. Of, like to be
Yeah.
scary,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you gotta learn how to be, especially with that type of
Yeah.
shit, because once a person gets past that threshold, that gets fucking dark real fast, and
Yep.
it's very much a sink or swim, and you can't be caught up in what the school taught you,
Right.
you know what I mean? You better be right there
You have
in
to be
that moment
present.
with that person. Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
Dr.
just,
Bronner, real life 101.
So now that we've gone sideways, bringing it back in, what is the funny excuse somebody gave you for missing an assignment?
I never had a funny excuse. I've had more of like,
Well, it might have been funny to you. It might not have been funny to them.
well, not even to me. It's more of like, of course, of like something like an emergency and something happened with somebody's family member. And no, it
grandma
wasn't a
died
funny
twice.
moment. But yeah, like that guy I was talking to. Why was everybody mad at that? But anyway, and it was like, but the person like presented pictures of like, yeah, it's weird. I don't even know if I want to say it.
So maybe I'll rephrase that.
Well, how about I'll just tell you mine.
Okay.
Yeah, just go.
Mine was funny was because I was like, dang, this is some shit I would fucking say.
Okay.
because
What happened?
it wasn't anything crazy. It was like, Professor Casillas, I just didn't see it. I was chilling. I was being lazy and I didn't see it. And I
See, I
was
could
like,
work with that.
You would have said that.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's
And
what
I
I'm
just been
saying.
like,
yeah.
fuck.
Like, I
probably would've-
respect it.
Yeah, I probably would have put some cuss words in there like, man, I'm just not on shit right now. That would be the way I said it.
Yeah.
And then I would be like, I totally worked with that. Like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I got you. Go ahead and email it over to me right now. Let me
Yeah,
go ahead and
you
give you full
respect it.
credit.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm cool. I can work
Yeah.
with you like that.
What
Yeah.
about you? I know you got some.
So
Mark, though.
probably, and it was funny to me. It probably wasn't funny to them, and that's what I'm saying. It was like one of those things where you look and you go, "The fuck." And I think I have mentioned this before, but it was literally the person that I want to say it was either the last paper that was due or it was the final.
Mm-hmm.
And I get this message, hey, no, it was a paper that was due. It was like the big paper that was due in the semester. Hey, I'm sorry. The paper's late, or it's going to be late. My cat died on Wednesday, or on Friday, and my papers always due Friday. Okay. And they sent me a picture of the cat with them holding it and the death certificate.
What?
Like, was it all in the same picture?
No.
Like,
No. It was two separate pictures. Yeah. No, it was literally two separate pictures.
online.
And my only thought was,
Fucking emotional
Life coach.
support animal.
Well, I
Have
mean-
an ass.
From your life.
my first thought was, well, that happened Friday night. What were you doing the rest of the week? Because you've known the whole semester about this paper, and yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
kind of true. But
and I'm like, I get that your cat died, but you could at least communicate something's going on.
Man.
what if it was
Rest in peace,
tragic?
Whiskers. You know,
What, what if it was a freak accident? And
I need to see pictures of the death scene then.
this shit went so like dark. So dark.
I'm sorry.
It's a cat. I'm not asking for a relative's funeral. I'm just saying, like, I looked at him like,
R.I.P. Whiskers. Yeah, Mark, you.
I don't know,
Peter's
man.
coming for you, Mark.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. Like,
I'm just saying.
I just saying because I understand
If
that
you
like
have
some
Banned
people.
in 50 states.
If you have
I'm not-
if you have 14 weeks to do a paper and you know about the paper, and then the week your cat magically
out the
dies
group
the
chat.
week it's due,
Take me out the group chat. This
I
is
mean,
getting crazy.
I'm just saying you
I
could have
know,
handed that
I-
shit in on Monday,
Listen, I'm
or
saying,
emailed me on Monday. Hey, my cat's sick.
Mark, I need you to understand something.
Two
I'm
Live
sa-
Crew ain't got
I'm
shit
saying
on the
that-
professor.
I'm saying this shit to you now as a person who is sitting in a podcast with you. Now, if I was in your shoes as an actual professor, that motherfucker better have my paper. As in, they better turn that shit
Oh
in.
yeah.
But I think I go for the point of like, you know, some people
This is
that's
insane.
like that's some of their stuff. Especially now that I've been working at the place I've been working at now.
I know.
Some of these
Mark, like,
some of these
bitch, I
pets is
know.
like,
okay.
oh, I'm not leaving here with, and it was just a cat email I read today, and maybe that's why I'm laughing. Like, oh my gosh, like this whole, I work for the government, like this whole underground fucking
Yeah.
John Wick type shit, and then ended it with I was told to leave because the cat, I put the cat on a leash or some shit like that, and I'm like. And I went to grad school for this shit. Like
Yeah,
this is my shit right here.
Yeah.
But it was just the cat, fucking whiskers.
I'm with you, Mark. Listen. Yeah.
I don't. I mean,
Now, if Grandma dies, okay,
Respect, Peter.
you know.
yeah, I don't need Peter
Fuck
coming
Pe-
for me
fuck
throwing shit
Peter.
on me.
Right.
But I am going to probably have a steak today.
I'm gonna have two just to prove a point. So to be fair,
God.
I just told her please turn in the paper as soon as you can.
I knew. See, he's
But-
over here being a hard ass dad, but really,
No, but I
they're-
did deduct points for late
well,
deduct,
for sure,
you know,
yeah.
Yeah.
and everything. But I'm like, and I told her, I'm like, in reality, communicate the shit beforehand.
But that was a solid thing, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I got called. Somebody was like, "Hey, you know." They're talking like in colors
Yeah.
because they did like some kind of psychology thing where you take a test and like
Yeah.
they tell what kind of color you are, and then they're like,
What?
"Yeah, Casey's a blue," and so like you know she deals
Not a
with
crip.
yeah. I mean, I was
I can see it.
She's out doing drive-bys for the Bloods.
I can see it.
but it was like she's soft and you know like I like
This
this.
bitch is a blue. Mark almost spit out his water.
I know, and
This
I
is
know.
how you know it's bad.
But I think it's like as hard as I try to sound, like I get there's certain shit that's
Right.
it's just like okay, you know what I mean? I'm empathetic to like almost a fault, but then don't get it fucked up because then I'm not at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
If you have with me, one, if you communicate what's going on, like we've always said, I'll work with you. If you tell me beforehand, hey, listen, I'm having some family issues. You don't got to give me the details.
Yeah.
But hey, this is kind of sidetracking me. This is taking up a lot of this space. You know, it's a real struggle. I got you.
Yeah.
We'll work with that.
Yeah.
You come to me after and go, yeah, you know,
I got a party to plan, bitch.
yeah. I'm fucking with that.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That was the NWA
I don't
closing.
give grace like that.
Well,
Oh, tell me about it.
No, it's my fucking time. You know, like respect my time. Like, you know, no,
Yeah.
bitch, I got shit to do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. Mm-mm.
Look
Nope.
at that. 313. That's what the Detroit Lions is going to be on this week. What's up? Yeah. What's up, Unc?
Lions?
What's
Right.
up, Unc?
Right.
All right, what's your closing thoughts?
so
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
before we get to that, do you have anything that would sum up what it's like to be a professor?
Oh, I'll go. Is this?
Go any direction you take this.
I feel like it's me in class. Me.
Yeah.
Finally got a
Lays and
fucking
hot
answer.
mocha, stage
Fuck
one,
yeah, of course.
center stage.
Bitch been in the back
Brown
of the whole
noser,
time.
yeah,
and
dog.
Making
finally-
it rain.
Pick me.
I'm a pick me bitch.
Shamika.
I just this week had a student ask me to do a recommendation letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was awesome because I was able to pull out of them like their gifts and their skills. And they were like, no, I didn't do that. I'm like, yes, you did do that in class. You know, like
Yeah.
those people you do remember. I'm like, yes, you did. Like,
Right.
talk your shit
Yeah.
on this paper, you know, and I said, trying to say
Yeah.
it in a different way. But I'm like, no, this is the time. You don't have to be humble. You trying to get in grad school, talk your shit, you know, on paper. And seeing students intern for me now, like, that's fucking dope. You know, like, I love teaching because they get to see me, but they be inspired and they come back later and then just tell me of like how whatever I did made an impact in their life. And I'm like,
Right.
this is why I do what I do. You know, like,
Yeah.
I feel like, remember like my old teacher, Dr. Alicia. Dr. Alicia.
Dr. Alicia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say for me, what sums up what it's like to be a professor is probably it's like trying to teach a bunch of kindergartners
Mm-hmm.
at times, mixed with a bunch of adults, and then trying to make everybody have a conversation. And it's fucking impossible sometimes because the people that are there and want to learn, like they're super engaged. And then you have the one in the back going, cheese. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I would say being a professor to me is like being a bona fide big sister
Right.
to all the students, no matter what the age is. And sometimes they respond in a way that you can tell they never had somebody be on their bumper,
Right.
but in a way that was inspiring to them and less scary. You know what I mean? By breaking it down of, no, it's, you can do this. Like, you're better than
Right.
what you're saying you're doing right now. And we both fucking know it. So get the fuck up and let's go. Let's do it. And so I like that. That's what it feels like, because like when I teach, it's like, if you know the shit, they just
Yeah.
skip through it and you don't really have to
Yeah.
hone in on shit. But
Yeah.
then the ones that need a little bit of help or whatever, it's like, no, this is basic shit. So you can't go go collect $200 until you get the basic
Right.
shit.
Right.
Then there's the ones that reach out and ask like the weird questions or the
Yeah.
whatever. And that's the shit that I like, because
Yeah.
they're the ones that want it, and you can see that they're hungry, but then they just need a little pep talk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was beautiful, Blue.
Thanks.
Never had a friend like me. Look at you.
Ski ski.
All right. So closing thoughts.
That's it. I think that's it. Listen.
Drop what you're doing next. I think you need to at least do that. How can we find Casey?
Okay.
Besides,
Oh,
on
well,
the
just
streets, but
in these streets and upcoming 909-313 podcast.
Okay.
Mhm.
What about you, Shamika? What do you got going on?
Of course, bitch always got something going on,
I
right? Look out for my next book, Black Hearts, that's coming.
Boom.
Emma's House Women's Healing Circle Groups. Yes, let me talk about that just really quick. We'll remerge music and therapy skills. And so
Okay.
right now we're focusing on Mary J. Blige, Real Love. And so Look out for 909 and 313.
Yeah,
All
listen to that
stuff.
episode. Okay.
All right. Oh, I gotta shit.
Yeah, come on now.
So, other than when we return for the podcast for season 3 of The Professors, I will be at my practice helping those who come through the door, Toronto Mental Health, and
Toronto Mental Health.
teaching several classes, more than I probably should, but and also I've considered starting a book.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
all right.
So we will see where that goes. And coming very soon, our online store.
I was about
Nice.
to say.
All right, guys. So
With-
don't mess. Oh,
Go ahead.
don't mess with my money and don't mess with my D.
Boom.
Bitch.